Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tabor Talk. I'm your host, Michael Tabor. So, I am going to do a new sort of program bit. I have a couple of things that I do on a regular basis. I have something called What Makes a Joke Great, and I've had like 5 installments. I haven't done one in about a week. So, by the way, I do need a shave, but hey, I'm going to be talking about UFC, so I have to be kind of rugged and all that. So, thank God I'm handsome, right? Just kidding. All right. So, I am a huge UFC fan. I'm a huge fight fan, combat sports. I love it all. UFC, I like all the organizations. I remember Pride. I actually, at the time when there was UFC and Pride, I actually preferred Pride. Japan, that was some great shit. The GRACIEs fought there, and they had some really interesting people fighting. Sakuraba. Really, really, really cool. But, so let me get right into this. This is a very ambitious project, but I am going to watch every single UFC. Again, I've seen them all, by the way. We're up to 240, coming up to 242, right? So I've seen every single one of them. Every minute of every single fight the UFC has ever held. Some of the preliminary fights I didn't see. So I have Fight Pass, and every fight is available. So last night I watched UFC 1, the beginning when it all started. November 12th, 1993. I was 30 years old, and I was like, what the fuck? To be honest, though, I didn't see it, the pay-per-view. I didn't get it. I heard about it afterwards, and I fell in love with mixed martial arts afterwards. So, but it's available. It was November 12th, 1993 in Denver, Colorado. Small, I don't know what arena. I don't even know if it was arena. It was just like this fucking little gym. How many people were there? 4,000? Let me look that up. I'm going to show you some of the clips here. I got that queued up. But let's see if I have UFC 1. How many are in attendance? For something. Oh, couldn't load or let's see. How many pay-per-view? Not many people. And it was a tournament style. So there were 8 fighters. And you fought to the end. So the winner, Royce Gracie, fought 3 times. It's Gerard Gordeau, too. Can you imagine? And this is not wrestling. It's just full contact. Look, listen. No rules. No rules. No time limits, and you're in a cage. And the only thing you can't do, the only thing that was not allowed was groin strikes, eye gouging, and biting. Everything else was legal. Back of the head, stomping, everything. It was fucking crazed, man. All the fights are very short. So I'm going to go through this. Not in tremendous detail. I just want to make it entertaining and, just kind of put everything in a nutshell. I usually don't have notes, not even an outline. I just turn this thing on and talk. Like I said, this is Tabor Talk. Tabor Talk. Tabor Talk. Having a cup of coffee, talking shit. Shooting shit, right? So, okay, there were the first round brackets, right? There are 8 fighters, 4 fights. The first fight was Gerard Gordeau and Tyler Tooley. Am I pronouncing his name right? Tyler Tooley. I don't even know if these people are even alive yet. So 1993, how long ago was that? Let's see, 2003, 2013. It's 26 years ago, right? So, when you saw this, you had that guy, Gerard Gordeau is from the Netherlands, and it's like, is this really happening? This is really no holds barred, and like these guys are just going to go into like, what is it, an octagon, a cage? And all of a sudden you see Gerard Gordeau walk out and he does this to 4 corners. I'm like, oh my God, he's a fucking neo-Nazi. He goes 4 corners. Holy fuck. So This is going to be wild, you know. And he's this big guy, 6'4", comes out with no shirt, and his background was savate, karate, whatever. And he's had a history of full contact fighting. And then Tyler Tooley comes out. And he's this 420-pound sumo wrestling, like total freak show. Okay. Again, no rules, no time limits. The fight goes on until someone's fucking dead, literally. You know, like you talk about human cockfighting. So the fight lasts 30 seconds, and I have it queued up on YouTube. I hope they don't fucking yank me, UFC. They're motherfuckers. But let's see here. I'm going to show, watch this. Ready? UFC 1, November 12th, 1993. Gerard Gordeau, Tyler Tooley. Ready? Here we go. Let me turn the volume up. There it is.
And they go. I think there'll be a lot of stalking just to see what happens. Endurance is going to play an important part of this. Kathy, what do you think?
Oh!
I think we're just missing teeth there.
That was it. First fight. You know, he missed him, kicked him, so he knocked his teeth out with that first kick. Boom, and then he punched him when he was down, and Gordeau broke his knuckle too, broke his hand. Crazy shit, you know, no gloves, no barefisted completely. I'm just worried that UFC's gonna fuck me. You know, they're such bastards. I do a lot of UFC, and they're fucking gangster. They're blockers, you know. I love the UFC, but they fucking suck. Like Dana White and the boys, the Fertitta brothers sold it, but you don't have enough fucking money, you fucking gangsters, you know. So, I mean, it's all over the YouTube. I don't know why they pick on me, but and I want to name this UFC 1. I don't know. I'm gonna have to be tricky about this, you know. And the title, maybe we'll see what happens. If it's blocked, I'll just have to put a different title up or something. So anyway, there's that fight, and like I heard it, I read in the articles, like there was 8 people there, right? So, and they're like, is this really gonna happen? Like no holds barred. This has never happened in this country like this. I mean, maybe on some Indian reservations or something, some, you know, no holds barred fucking live combat, you know, fighting, but they were like, oh my god, this shit's real. I just saw teeth go flying in the audience, and Tulsi, whatever his name is, Tyler Tooley, he's fucked up. Okay, so getting right into this, I'm not going to go into too much detail here. So the next fight was Kevin Rozier and Zane Frazier. Kevin Rozier's this big, fat, out-of-shape guy from Buffalo, actually, New York. And he's a real friendly, nice guy. And he's going against Zane Frazier, who's a karate expert. And it was a weird, wild, 2 out-of-shape fucking guys. Just total street fight. And Kevin Rozier's like fighting like this, and he's so out of shape. And then he ends up like just stomping him, like he's on the ground. He's like, boom. It's so sloppy. And then he just stomps him. Should I show you this? I should probably show you a little bit of each fight, right? This is entertaining, isn't it? So, you know what? Let me not do this. Let me just talk about it, because I'm worried that I'm going to be yanked from YouTube. So, but Kevin Rozier and Zane Frazier, go on YouTube yourself. Why don't you do that, people watching this? And I'll just talk about it. So Kevin Rozier's this big fat guy. Zane Frazier, he stomps him, and then they interview him, and he's out of breath, and he's just this really nice guy. So when you're watching it, it's like, who are these fucking killers? Who are these people? And they're just regular guys, and Kevin Rozier's is like this super friendly guy. Okay, next one is Ken Shamrock. Excuse me, Ken Shamrock, the most dangerous person on planet Earth. He's a weird guy, and what a body, man. Whoa, fucking jacked and fucking handsome. You know, Italian. I think he's Italian and Irish. Let me bring up a picture of him. I won't play the video, but I'll bring up Ken Shamrock, an image of him, and he's fighting Patrick Smith, and Patrick Smith is crazy, boy. They're both really, really I put on Wikipedia. They're both very, very jacked, especially Ken Shamrock. And that fight lasts about 2 minutes. And it's a crazy one. And it's super violent. It's super fucking, and it's a street fight. You look at that. That is total fucking street fight. And you see real fast, like Patrick Smith, like they're on the ground. So I think Ken Shamrock goes to shoot, if I remember correctly, and he gets squashed. Or maybe Patrick Smith tried to shoot. You know, Ken Shamrock had a wrestling background, and then they go to the ground. And Ken Shamrock, his whole thing was leg locks early on in his career, for most of his career. You know, if anyone knows about leg locks, I'm a martial artist, so I know this stuff. So people who are not, and probably most of the people watching this are UFC people. Okay, so he goes down and he pulls it. He goes for an ankle leg lock, and while he's doing that and he's turning, he's holding it in, and Patrick Smith is going real fast, like on his leg. It's real fucked up. It's crazy. And Ken Shamrock, he taps. That's the tap. He's gonna break his fucking ankle, you know. And they interview Ken Shamrock. So Ken Shamrock's introduced to the world, and you see this real handsome guy. And he's kind of nuts. You see, like, hey, because what did you think? Because Ken Shamrock used to fight in pancrase, right? That's a no holds bar, but you can't have closed fists. Pancrase is like this. And he said, compare this to your experience with pancrase. He goes, easier. This is easier. Because what did you think when you got in the ring with Patrick Smith? He goes, I was going to win. He goes, it was easy. And they go, why? And he goes, no submissions, no ground game. I like to fight. You know, so it's like even after a second fight, he actually lost to Hoist Gracie's second round. I'll get into it. I'm going a little fast forward. I see that I'm at 12 minutes. But anyway, really, Ken Shamrock is this. Well, let me show you the picture of him. He's this super handsome guy, and who's super muscular. Okay, so here we are. Let me take it. All right, that's how jacked he is. And let me get a better picture of him. That's not from UFC 1. Let me put Ken Shamrock UFC 1, so you could get what he looked like that night. So he goes, they go, Hollywood's looking for you, dude. Like, you're like this handsome built dude. Here. All right. There he is. Look at that fucking handsome fella. Right? But he's a fucking killer, man. And he goes, like, there are people here who want to put you in movies. And he goes, he smiles. He goes, I like to fight. You know, so Ken Shamrock, what a character. Real colorful individual in early days of UFC. So okay, so Ken Shamrock, crazy fucking street fight. Ken Shamrock beats Patrick Smith. Then of course everyone knows the favorite is Hoist Gracie and the Gracie system. This was all promoted by the Gracie family to promote Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. This was the whole deal. They wanted to get what's his name? Not Hoist Gracie represented the Gracie family, but the Hickson was the guy. But Hickson's actually jacked and big and handsome, and it was like, oh, let's get our skinny brother. Hoist Gracie is 170 pounds. I'll show you a picture of Hoist too. And he fights Art Jimerson, and he's a boxer, and he has one glove on. Anyway, Hoist takes him down, and he doesn't even submit him. He just mounts him. He gets into mount. People who are martial artists know what I'm talking about. The people who are just lay people, you probably won't. But he mounts him, you know, passes guard. Well, it wasn't even in guard. Jimerson didn't even know what guard was. But he mounts him, and he's like, this, you can't, you're smothered. I don't care how much you weigh. It's 170 pounds, and Jimerson can't move. He can't do anything, and he just taps. It's like, what the fuck? Like, nothing happened. He's just laying on him. He knew that he couldn't do anything about it. This again, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, this was introduced, this system, style of fighting, was introduced to the world. The #1 style of fighting. What's the greatest martial art? Is it Taekwondo? Hey, is it boxing? American box? What is it? Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You have no chance against someone at the time. People didn't know what this was. You had no chance against the Gracies. I don't care if you're 600 pounds. No shot. The only slight chance was if there was an excellent striker. If there was a guy who stayed away and just and knocked him out with one punch. That was the only concern with the Gracies, by the way. I know that for a fact. But anyway, okay. So let me, because I don't want to keep this too long. I'm just going to jump into the fights. So the next round, isn't this crazy? You just finished a fight and you got to go for round 2. So Gerard Gordeau has a broken fucking hand. He just had a fight against the Hawaiian dude. And he fights Kevin Rosier, and Gerard Gordeau just fucks him up. He's a street gangster fighter, man. And he just gets him down, and he's patient. He's looking, and Rosier's all fat and out of shape, and he's just looking. He's on his knees, and he's waiting for an opening. He's like, boom, and just fucking, and then he stomps his ass too. So Gerard Gordeau beats Kevin Rosier, and then Hoist Gracie and Shamrock. This is supposed to be the big fight. Like the Gracie's supposed to be. Let me show you a picture of Gracie if people don't know this. I'm sure MMA fans. It's kind of stupid for me to bring him up because we all know who the granddaddy of them all, Hoist, who started this whole thing. Hoist Gracie, amazing guy from Brazil. Oops, I don't want videos. And I'm not even showing, that's when he was older, but let me get an earlier picture. Let me get Hoist Gracie UFC 1. He was 26 years old. Okay. And here he is. The great Hoist Gracie. And he came in with a gate. This little skinny guy who was the baddest man on planet fucking Earth. Actually, his brothers were tougher. He wasn't even the toughest in the Gracie family. So Hoist beats Ken Shamrock. And that's when they interviewed Ken after that. And they said, oh, you're going to put you in pictures. He goes, I like to fight. Real tough guy. Fucking tough. And, he got him choke. Oh, it was weird. Right. That's right. So it was very quick. They went down, I think. Oh, yeah. Okay. I think Hoist shot in and Ken Shamrock squashed him. But it eventually went down to the ground. He had him in a... did he have him in a rear naked? I think it was a rear naked. Some form... Some choke, and then Ken Shamrock tapped 4 times, and the ref didn't see it, so kept going, and then Hoist Gracie was pissed. He's like, he fucking tapped, man. He tapped, and then it was over. So, and then they talked to Ken Shamrock, and he goes, no, he won. Fair and square. He goes, the Gracies are badass. Okay, so the finale. Hoist Gracie, Gerard Gordeau, and the greatest system in the world. Hoist Gracie wins. And let me just show you this fight. Okay. It's very short, of course. And then afterwards they had the ceremony with Helio Gracie, which is the granddad. He's the one, he's like 88 years old, and he's been doing it his whole life. As a fact, little history here. Helio Gracie wanted to fight Joe Louis back in the 40s, right? It's like, hey, Joe Louis is the baddest man on the planet. Helio goes, no fucking way. I am. They wanted to set it up, but the Joe Louis camp wouldn't put it together. So let me bring this up, and I hope I don't get fucked here. Okay, so UFC 1 finale, final fight. Let's put that in. Hoist Gracie, here it is. Okay, so this is the whole thing. Okay, final fight. I don't want to show the whole thing. This is interesting with Hoist Gracie and Ken Shamrock. People just go on it. UFC, the fight. You got to see it if you have Fight Pass. Well, let me show you a little bit of this. Of course, as an ad. So. All right.
In the art of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Hoist Gracie is the undefeated Ultimate Fighting Champion.
This is it, the
which
promo,
has earned him
right?
more than $110,000 in prize money. At only 176 pounds, he is again the lightest competitor in the tournament. But that hasn't
The
stopped
prize
him
was
so
3
far.
fights, $50,000. That's
Master
it.
grappler. Expect Hoist to take his opponents to the ground, where he can apply his devastating chokes and joint locks.
Hi, I'm Hoist Gracie, and I'm back to defend my title as the Ultimate Fighting Champion.
And there's
There's the
train I
Gracie
referred
family.
to, the Gracie train. Orien's son leading the way. There's the Grandmaster himself, Helio Gracie, behind him. There's Hell's son, the older brother. All these guys are deadly. There's no question about it. The whole clan is there. Hoist right there. Hoist extremely loose on the way up. I talked
You know,
about
I'm
it
not going to play this. I'm afraid of being yanked from from YouTube. Just go on UFC 1 or Fight Pass, watch it, people. Okay, Michael Tabor signing out. Good friends, good books, and a sleepy conscience. Peace, love, and understanding. Shout out to all you UFC fans.